Prelude. I have eaten your bread and salt, I have drunk your water and wine. The deaths ye died I have watched beside, and the lives ye led were mine. Was there aught I did not share in vigil or toil or ease? One joy or woe that I did not know, dear hearts across the seas? I have written the tale of our life for a sheltered people's mirth, in jesting guise, but ye are wise, and ye know what the jest is worth. Danny Deever. What are the bugles blowin' for? Said files on parade. To turn you out, the colour sergeant said. What makes you look so white, said files on parade. I'm dreadin' what I've got to watch, the colour sergeant said. For they're hangin' Danny Deever, you can hear the Dead March play. The regiments in Olive Square, they're hangin' him today. They've taken of his buttons off and cut his stripes away, and they're hangin' Danny Deever in the mornin'. What makes the rear rank breathe so odd, said files on parade. It's bitter cold, the colour sergeant said. What makes that front rank man fall down, said files on parade. A touch of sun, the colour sergeant said. They are hangin' Danny Deever, they are marchin' of him round. They have altered Danny Deever by his coffin on the ground, and it's swingin' off a minute for a sneakin' shootin' hound. Oh, they're hangin' Danny Deever in the mornin'. His court was right, he caught to mine, said files on parade. He's sleepin' out and far tonight, the colour sergeant said. I've drunk his beer a score of times, said files on parade. He's drinkin' bitter beer alone, the colour sergeant said. They are hangin' Danny Deever, you must mark him to his place, for he shot a comrade sleepin', you must look him in the face. 900 of his country and the regiment's disgrace, while they're hangin' Danny Deever in the mornin'. What's that so black in the sun, said files on parade. It's Danny fightin' hard for life, the colour sergeant said. What's that whimpers overhead, said files on parade. It's Danny's soul that's passin' now, the colour sergeant said. For they're done with Danny Deever, you can hear the quick-step play. The regiment's in column, and they're marchin' us away. Ho, the young recruits are shakin', and they'll want their beer today, after hangin' Danny Deever in the mornin'. The last of the Light Brigade. There were 30 million English who talked of England's might. There were 20 broken troopers who lacked a bed for the night. They had neither food nor money, they had neither service nor trade. They were only shiftless soldiers, the last of the Light Brigade. They felt that life was fleeting, they knew not that art was long, that though they were dying of famine, they lived in deathless song. They asked for a little money to keep the wolf from the door, and the 30 million English sent 20 pounds and 4. They laid their heads together that were scarred and lined in grey. Keen were the Russian sabres, but want was keener than they. And an old troop sergeant muttered, Let us go to the man who writes the things on balaclava the kiddies at school recites. They went without bands or colours, a regiment 10 files strong, to look for the master singer who had crowned them all in his song. And, waiting his servant's order, by the garden gate they stayed, a desolate little cluster, the last of the Light Brigade. They strove to stand to attention, to straighten the toil boat back. They drilled on an empty stomach, the loose-knit files fell slack. With stooping, weary shoulders, and garments tattered and frayed, they shambled into his presence, the last of the Light Brigade. The old trop sergeant was spokesman, and, begging your pardon, he said, you wrote to the Light Brigade, sir. Here's all that isn't dead, and it's all come true what you wrote, sir, regarding the mouth of hell, for we're all of us nigh to the workhouse, and we thought we'd call and tell. No, thank you. We don't want food, sir, but couldn't you make and write a sort of to be continued and see next page for the fight? We think that someone has blundered, and couldn't you tell him how? You wrote we were heroes once, sir. Please, write we are starving now. The poor little army departed, limping and lean and forlorn, And the heart of the master singer grew hot with the scorn of scorn, and he wrote for them wonderful verses that swept the land like flame, till the fatted souls of the English were scourged with the thing called shame. Oh, 30 million English that babble of England's might, behold that our 20 heroes who lack their food tonight. Our children's children are lisping to honor the charge they made, and we leave to the streets and the workhouse the charge of the Light Brigade.